We're at the very end of Daf Ayin Hey. We're doing the summary here. How is it that we draw down the Ein Sof? So we explained that it's specifically through the Karbonis. The Karbonis are described both as Lachmi, bread, and Isha, my fire. And we explained that the four Yusoidis, Eish, Mayim, Ruach, and Afar, also parallel Doimen, Tzemei, Chayim, Medaber. Dust is Doimen, Mayim, water is Tzemeach, vegetation, Chai is animals, is the fire, and Medaber is Ruach, it's just human beings. So the fire, which burns, and the Karbonis that comes from above, represents how the animal soul, that quality of fire, which is ordinarily predisposed towards pursuits of the materialism, becomes subsumed via the Karbonis, and thus it provides lachmi, it provides the sustenance for Hashem. Just like if a person is starving, their neshama is leaving their body. So too, when they eat bread, it settles the neshama within the body. You have a similar idea here as well, that through the mitzvahs, we settle godliness in the physical world. And this is why it is specifically the Karbonis, this is one of the questions we asked earlier, that is called the Reach Nichayach, because it brings about this level of calm. And we explained that this is paralleled in the davening, that Shachris, which has the framework of elevating us from below to above, that is, we speak about the praises of Hashem, the matters which we can appreciate. And then we get to Shemon Esrei, which is total bittul, in contrast to Mincha, which is Menucha, it's calm because it's total bittul immediately. It has immediate total bittul. Now, this submission of the Eish down here in this physical world into the Eish Shalamila is effectuated through Moshe Rabbeinu relaying Tzavis B'nai Yisrael V'Amarta, that just like when we study Torah, so our enunciation of the words, Hashem enunciates them with us. When Moshe speaks to us the commandments of Karbonis, we take upon ourselves the Moshe quality, which is the quality of bittul. And this then ties in to the two levels of Torah Shebechsav, where it's much more about the Oisiyos, and Torah Sheba'al Peh, which is considered guarding, like the feminine quality. The husband contributes the raw material, that's the Torah Shebechsav, and the woman develops it into something useful, that's the Torah Sheba'al Peh. This quality. And the mechanism is through the bittul that is represented by the Moshe Rabbeinu quality. So in Torah Shebechsav, it's much more about the letters. Therefore, we refer to that as kriya. We call, like you call your friend. Whereas Torah Sheba'al Peh, which is much more about the development, not so much about the particular letters, this is the quality of shmiru. We guard it, we develop it. And this also ties into the Yamim Tovim. Pesach is the quality of Avram, which is Shachris, where again, the person wakes up, they're aware of themselves, they work on themselves to overcome themselves to the quality of Shemona Esrei. Then you have Shavuos, which is the revelation of godliness. That's the level of Yitzchak, the sound of the shofar, the ram of Yitzchak. That's Mincha, where we go right into the total bittul. And finally, you have Yaakov, which is the level of Sukkot, which is the quality of Ma'ariv, where we are surrounded by the godliness as is discussed. Now, every time we do this mitzvah, or the only way in which we can do this mitzvah physically of the Karbonis, one of our questions was, is in the Beis HaMikdash. Other mitzvahs don't have to be done in the Beis HaMikdash. Even the machshav and dibur, the thinking about the conceptual idea of the Karbonis, and the discussion, the recitation, can be done outside, but the Maisa must be done in the Beis HaMikdash, and the Alter Rebbe explains because the base, the concept of the bias, is the makif that allows us to have this total bittul. On Daf Ayin Vav Amud Gimel, there is a beer on this pasuk, and it talks again about this idea of la'avda u'lashamra, that this is our obligation to work and to protect. And we are told the Yud Nivra Elam Haba, the Yud is Tzimtzum, a little tiny bit. And again, you can't grasp it at all. And every level is a makif compared to when it becomes a pnimi, that becomes a makif to the next level. And this is the idea that in this world is built on chesed, and the world to come is built on gevura, as evidenced by the harsher characteristics of the world to come. And our objective is to organize and differentiate that limitlessness, that Ein Sof quality of this physical that's in this world, and put it into its orderliness in this physical world. And this is most profoundly achieved, of course, through bittul. The bittul is represented by the koirim, the bowing at moedim. And this is why the Gemara says if a person doesn't bow, they become a snake, the snake representative of the characteristics of klipa. And the absent, the bittul, represented by bowing, a person is, God forbid, subject to the quality of klipa.